first big category, new releases. I'm going to be looking at 8 albums from September. As I mentioned before, there's 4 releases from September 12th alone, which is just insane. One day stacked to the max. And then we're going to have 4 other ones. The big theme here, as the name of the episode really already said, is comebacks and changes. There's a lot of comebacks happening right now with not just Adapt, but also Motion City soundtrack, Woe Is Me, and also a lot of changes in members. Gavin Dance had to change members, and I Prevail lost their singer. Villain of the Story changed their singer. Adam Gontier came back to Free as Grace. It's a pretty big theme lately for alternative music and metalcore music, and it's everywhere all around. The spotlight is on. Like I said before, Gavin Dance underwent personal changes for their new release, Pantheon. Tillian Person, the clean vocal singer, departed in April 24 after 12 years with the band, which is a really long time. And they also had to process the loss of Tim Feerick, I hope I said that right, who was their bassist until he died in 2022. So they decided to elevate Andrew Wells from rhythm guitarist to co-lead vocalist as the clean singer. And that changed their approach to how they wrote this album, pretty much as they said themselves that they ended up demoing most of the album's vocals while on tour together. Every day after soundchecker shows, it was Andrew Wells, the new singer. Will and John trading ideas in the back lounge. He was quoted by Scene Music Media. And Matthew, the drummer, also had to say about the creation of the album that when we did the singer change with Wells, we had already compiled songs, went back, and Will said we should write more songs to cater to Andrew. So they already had a lot of songs written, but then they decided to adjust to fit Andrew into the band, which really comes through in the album. I've picked 2 songs to really highlight the way they wrote this and accommodated the new voice, Trapdoor, which is pretty much my highlight of the album, and All the Way Down. They are a more straightforward approach to songwriting, but still bring a lot of the usual DGD chaos. Let's move on to the next one. I Feel the Everblack Festering Within Me by Lorna Shore. A 10-piece album that, even with just 10 songs, is over 60 minutes long, 66 to be specific. And Will Ramos said that he dropped the fantasy themes he usually writes about for more personal themes driven by dementia in his family. And it's just a symphonic deathcore, which pushes maybe into mainstream. I don't know. It's still pretty long songs, even though I picked the shortest songs as my highlights, Unbreakable and War Machine, which are just straightforward, almost 5 minutes into your face. Pink Moon by Silverstein is maybe the outlier to the theme we have for this episode, as they are one of the most consistent bands in the scene, with a stable lineup and 20 plus years of releases and touring, just non-stop going on about it. For this second piece of their double album this year, it's the second release this year. They have 2 collaborations with Dayseeker and Cassidy Pope, which are quite nice songs. Autopilot is one of my favorites here on this album, as I highlighted as well. But The Fatalist just gives you that classic Silverstein cottagecore feel. So that's my second highlight. Start Again by Nevertel is an album by pretty much a newcomer to the scene from Canada. They bring a lot of fresh energy while still having that new metal feel to them. And I discovered them through their song Break the Silence with Sleep Theory, who I've been listening to a lot this year. And so it was recommended to me by my music subscription service. And I just then started listening to the album and was really amazed by how they just bring new energy with not that much of new ideas, but just a lot of power. And other songs I would recommend if you want to get a feel for the album are Sacrifice, Losing Faith, and Starting Over, which fits the theme of this episode pretty much. They'll come on tour. Watch out for dates later in the show. Same Old Wasted Wonderful World by Motion City soundtrack is the first album since 10 years by them. They reunited with the lineup, and the main focus for this album is the theme that Justin Pierre's life went through, which he told Rolling Stone was, or the main focus of his life over the last 4 years was spending time in therapy, unraveling every aspect of my mind and being, or of his mind and being. And you can tell from this album that it's a lot more structurized. There's good vibes in there. In the songwriting, it's about discovering who you are, finding peace, and just still enjoying it. It's quite a nice album. I added 2 songs. One feature with Patrick Stump, Particle Physics. Patrick Stump of Fall Out Boy brings nice pop energy to this song, and Downer, which is quite different from the rest of the album, I would say, in approach to songwriting. And I enjoyed it a lot. This album is really thoroughly produced, maybe a bit overproduced, but still a nice listen. One album that's definitely not to miss out on is Violent Nature by I Prevail. I've heard some people say it's their hardest album to date, but if you listen to the songs I highlighted, NW theme song, Violent Nature, and God, you might get the same idea. But those are the 3 hardest songs on the album, the 3 hardest songs by the band yet. And the rest is same old, and with Rain and maybe some other songs on there, even softer than we used to, with quite a nice melodic approach for the whole album. I can definitely recommend. Brian Burkheiser left the band after 10 years due to health issues. And he was their clean vocalist. So Eric Van Leerberger, hope I said that right, is doing clean and scream vocals himself. So he's doing the warm and the raw. And he said about that he's singing all over this record now. They are not going to change the sound dramatically. It's still I Prevail, to which I would agree. But they are also not bringing the mixture to the songs as much as they used to. Like I said, there's 3 very hard songs, and then there's more clean singing in the others. I would recommend the album for I Prevail fans and people who are trying to find a good, nice listen to metalcore music. One of my personal highlights of this list, Convergence, 2 Minds in One, just released a few days ago as I'm recording this by Villain of the Story. They also underwent a change. Logan Bartholomew, the clean vocalist, left, but instead of getting Christian Grey, the screamer or raw vocalist, to take over the clean singing for this band as well, they took in Cody Crook from The Following, who brought a lot of pop songwriting knowledge into the band, or a different approach from the usual metalcore approach to songwriting. And Christian Grey said already in 2024 that I felt that I would not be the best voice to front a band. I can't help but feel we hit the jackpot with Cody, which I can pretty much agree to. I really loved Villain of the Story before. One of my favorite songs was Better, where Logan really shined on the vocals. It's one of the most warm and just like welcoming, heartwarming songs I have ever listened to. But this album is in approaches with songwriting, just bringing the 2 Minds in One theme to life and growing it throughout the album until the finishing song. Then also the production. I could tell that they probably didn't have in-ear headphones in mind when producing this album. I really enjoyed it more on studio headphones or a hi-fi system. It's a broad mix for the how would you say, not so hard songs, but for the punches in the face. It's like you know, the harder ones. It's pretty much straightforward mixing, centralized, focused, and the song Waves brings just so much of that into one song, as you have the focused approach with hard vocals, slamming slamming instruments in the beginning, and then after 145 of the song just breaks into this really just massive scene, stereo scene with clean vocals and yeah, just amazing songwriting there. Production is on point. If I had an award to give out every week for or every episode for production value, I would give it to this album. And other highlights were the opener, Shame, which really set the mood for the album. Broken Promises continued there with then Face It, I think was the first release last year even. If I can remember correctly, just being such a beautiful smack to the face. Corgi's favorite this week, though, is a different album. It's Gallows by Bless the Fall, led, of course, by the lead singer Malcore. Bless the Fall, comeback after 7 years, no music since 2018. And they replaced Matt Trainer on the drums, but otherwise stayed the same. And they have a quote that I found out there that I think having the freedom of no expectations, no deadlines, and nothing to prove really helped us write the best album possible, which I would agree. This is very much Bless the Fall, but at their peak, which may help that there's albums are getting shorter, so you can focus more of your energy on less songs and centralize ideas. But also, I think the freedom helped them out a lot. And the quote I just gave you was by Bo Boken. Sorry. Malcore, the Reddit front track, of course. One of my highlights. Pretty nice opener to the album and first single release. Just setting the mood and being classic Bless the Fall, and them just saying, we don't mind being the band that writes music for the people hanging out in the mall, just being dudes hanging out in the mall and listening to Bless the Fall. Another highlight is their first feature song on this album, Somebody Else, with Caskets, which again is classic Bless the Fall with a Caskets mix in there. You can really tell they collaborated and not just wrote a song themselves and then brought in a feature singer. And the second one is Felt So Hard, Felt So Right, which brings the warm, welcoming Story of the Year style and mixes it with the Bless the Fall Malcore style. I'm a pretty big fan of Story of the Year, so I was very much excited when I saw this feature showing up in the song list, and I would recommend it to everyone